Aries rising, there's a total solar eclipse in your 5th house of Leo. What will that mean for you specifically? I'm Sook Boy, you're awesome. Let's talk about it. In astrology, eclipses are particularly significant and they symbolize major beginnings and major endings in our lives. Now, for the next 18 months, the majority of eclipses will be experienced on this axis of your 5th and your 11th house. Your self-expression versus your social expression. If you would like an in-depth reading of what the entirety of these eclipses will mean for you, potentially, go for a scroll, I've got you covered. I've already released a complete series covering every rising sign and what the eclipses will mean. Eclipses tend to activate themes rolling out for the next 6 months, so again, it is rather significant. Now, the 5th house pertains to your creativity and your self-expression. In particular, the topics that will be activated in this time: love, romance, dating, relationships, or situationships, children, creativity, artistic expression, hobbies, passions, joy, fun, pleasure, gambling, personal projects, entrepreneurship, and businesses you might have created. Now, because the South Node has moved into Leo, it's basically asking you to audit your idea of pleasure and happiness. This eclipse could ask you to let go of old interests, old passion projects that aren't serving you anymore. Or at the very least, revisit old passions and interests that you never quite completed. So think about what hobbies, interests, passions, situationships that you're still very much invested in, but it doesn't quite give you the same fulfillment. Now, this is not a bad thing. This is a powerful period for creative and self-expression. And you might find that old ideas or romantic love interests could re-emerge in a completely new way or new form. The catch-22 is that you will need to create it first before you share it with the world. This gives you an opportunity to refresh your romantic love life and your creative self-expression. Just saying. Emotional attachments that have lingered on too long could finally dissolve. Or existing relationships could be renewed through some kind of shared experience or activity. Some of you will be experiencing new or fresh developments with your children. You could fall pregnant, for example, or if your children are already adults, maybe they're falling pregnant. In some way, shape, or form, there could be more independence granted to your children, especially if they're older. They could be going off to college or university, for example. Or just your perception with children could change in some way. Maybe you've decided never to have children and then all of a sudden you're beginning to open up to the idea. Now, your chart ruler is in the 4th house of Cancer, and it's forming an exact sextile to Chiron in your 2nd house of Taurus. Now, this is a really positive aspect, but it asks you for conscious investment. What are your pre-existing scars, fears, doubts around your financial situation, and what actions do you need to take to actually make yourself feel a bit more secure, both in terms of your material wealth, but also your emotional security inside the 4 walls of your home? Now, Saturn is forming a trine with this eclipse as well as Jupiter in the 5th house, and this basically signifies freedom versus responsibility. You're going to have to sacrifice old freedoms and acquire new responsibilities to build something cool for yourself. And with Venus in your 7th house opposing Neptune also in your 1st house, you could be asked to wake up to rose-colored glasses with some of those more important relationships, romantic, business, platonic, or otherwise. In fact, I'd be paying very close attention to any financial arrangements, agreements, contracts you enter over the next 6 months. Make sure you're paying very close attention. With Mars, your chart ruler in Cancer, you could be rather passive-aggressive and overly protective of your interests and passions, especially if it's time to let go of them because of some kind of financial pressure. Venus opposite Neptune can mean there is deception or things are very foggy, so make sure you cross your T's and dot your I's. Your communication and social houses are very much activated, the 3rd, the 7th, and the 11th, so it's a better time to negotiate and collaborate with others rather than sign on the dotted line, one would say. But that being said, if you have done your due diligence and you need to, then don't let me hold you back. Now, I'm not saying that fireworks will go off on the eclipse, okay? I'm just saying that this house, this region of the chart is being activated, and over the next 6 months, you might see events unfold. As a thank you for watching this entire video, please feel free to send me a DM. I'll send you a coupon code for $30 off my natal and birth chart readings for new clients exclusively. Only love, positive vibes always. Hope that helps. Okay, bye.